Hi, BookTube. Welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and it's time for an update, or bookish update. So I did go do some book shopping at Givens earlier today, but I'm also going to update you on how my reading is going. So I just finished. So today when I was at the bookshop, I finished reading the Book of Lost Things by John Connolly. That was really good. I enjoyed that book. And like I said, it felt like a fairy tale. It was just a very sweet story, but also scary and kind of brutal. But it was really good. I think that both young adults and adults can enjoy that book. It does have a sequel, and the book The Land of Lost Things that I want to read. And I think I have an idea of what's gonna happen, what that one is about, but I'm not entirely sure if I'm right or not. But anyway, yeah, and I did continue this evening. I did continue reading The Secrets of Heartwood Hall by Katie Lumsden, which I'm enjoying that one so far. That one is really good. I'm definitely intrigued with what is going on, what is with Heartwood Hall, like what is with Heartwood Hall, like what's its secrets. There are some things that have been revealed at this point about about the family and the house and everything, but I haven't got all the pieces yet, so I definitely, wanting to know more, and there is a little bit of romance going on in the story. There is one character that I just don't know what her deal is. I definitely don't trust her, and she's definitely trying to, get our main bully and get our main character Margaret in trouble, like finding ways to hold things over her. And I'm wondering if she's someone who likes to do that a lot and to get her way. But I don't know, I still don't know what to make of her. I feel like in these stories, a lot of these stories have that trope of a servant character who you can't really trust and is very selfish and will hold things against you and will basically will blackmail you. I feel like that's a common trope in these type of historical dramas, whether they were written in the time period or the modern historical fiction stories. But anyway, like I said, I'm enjoying it. And I do hope at some point I would like to read her next book. Katie Lumsden's next book. It actually is on my wish list. I don't know if I'll receive it or not, but I would like to read it. Okay, so that's how it's going right now. I don't know when I'm gonna get back to The Talisman or Blackwater or Demon Copperhead. The Talisman I'm probably more close to getting back to, because I want to that's the Stephen King book, and like I said, once 2025 starts, I want to try to stick to reading a Stephen King book, like I said, every 2 months or every 3 months, depends on how long the Stephen King book is. So I'd like to get that one done by March, but I don't know, it will depend. And there are other books I want to read too, so I will want to read too while I'm reading that one. But anyway, so let's talk about what I recently bought from Givens. So I stuck to my 3 books rule and only got 3 books there. But it was a good day as far as selection goes. I had a lot of options of books I was thinking about buying, so I couldn't decide. So it's good in some ways, but also frustrating in others, because then I will struggle a little bit to narrow it down. And and I saw that the place was decorated for Christmas, Christmas decorated. They had beautiful garlands and Christmas trees. And I know I've been watching them as they redo the shop and everything. Like, they've changed things around. Now, sadly, unfortunately, it looks like they're not going to have the separate shelf for classics anymore. but I don't know, maybe those books weren't that popular. They didn't sell well, because I know there's a store where my grandma lives. It's the store on the military base that my grandma used to shop at, and they actually there was a book section, and there was also a section for like movies and stuff, but both those sections are gone, and like, so I guess that means that no one else I guess no one, when I wasn't there, no one was really buying anything from those places at that store. So maybe it was the same situation where no one was buying the classic books. So that makes me kind of sad. But I mean, it doesn't mean that they're gone. I mean, it doesn't mean that they're gone though. I'm sure they're mixed in somewhere within the other shelves. Like they didn't have a huge selection, not like at Books A Million or Barnes and Noble. I mean, in fact, the section Black Castle books before that closed, they had a bigger selection of classic books than Gibbons did. But I still always buy stuff. So first we have the first book I'm gonna haul for you guys is this big boy. So this one, The Raj Quartet by Paul Scott. And the only reason it's so huge is it's all 4 stories in the quartet in one big volume. Kind of like the Huguenot Connection, how that one has all 3 novellas in one big book. So all it has on the back is, of those writers who have attempted to distill the last years of the British in India in fictional form, the most ambitious and the most successful is undoubtedly Mr. Paul Scott. One cannot read Paul Scott's quartet of novels without being moved. What is the sense of studying history if it is not to move one into widening one's moral sensibilities? His achievement is on any count a major one. That doesn't really tell what this whole thing is about, except for, well, it kind of, I mean, you do get the whole, that it's about the last years of the British in India. But that's about it. Like, it doesn't give any specific plots or anything. Which is kind of annoying. But, I have always been very intrigued about India and learning more, reading books about the Indian culture. I mean, unfortunately, A Fine Balance didn't work for me. But maybe this will. We will see. And the good news is I only spent like, each of these books, if I buy just the one book, it's only $4. So it won't be that bad even if this doesn't go well. Or if I end up never getting around to it and decide later. Okay, so next we have, this is a classic from a modern classic, The Valley of the Dolls. It's a 50th anniversary edition by Jacqueline Suzanne. And I had another book that was a 50th anniversary edition, the Time and Again. I can't remember the author's name. But what was disappointing, but that one was kind of disappointing as far as, like, they didn't do anything. Like, there was nothing to make it stand out as an edition of the book, except for it had 50th anniversary edition on it. Like, at least with this one, it has the colored pages. And it's like this black, gold, and pink design is really pretty. But I was kind of disappointed that I was expecting some cool design to make for that particular book. But anyway. So this, I will read the back for you. At a time when women were destined to become housewives, Jacqueline Suzanne lets us dream. Anne Neely and Jennifer are ambitious young women in New York City who become best friends as they struggle to make their mark. Eventually, they climb their way to the top of the entertainment industry, only to find that there's no place left to go but down into the Valley of the Dolls. So this was originally published in 1966. It tackles women's rights, gay rights, drug addiction, and male literary establishment with a signature flair. Now, I did read some of the reviews when I was trying to decide if I wanted to get it on Goodreads, and there was definitely some reviews that pointed out that this was good for the time that it came out. It was impressive for the time, for the 60s, but by modern standards, there might be some outdatedness about it. But I still figured I want to try it, and it's not even the 500-page mark. It is a chunker book though, a chunky book though. And it's a modern classic, so it's blurbed by it's Michael Kors, Simon Doonan Slate, and Nora Ephron, and even the author herself. Which I'm guessing this quote is from an interview. The 1960s will be remembered for Andy Warhol, the Beatles, and me. So Michael Kors, he designs, I think, purses and stuff like that. 50 years later, it's still spot on. The world's changed immensely, but the climb to the top is still a tough one. Valley of the Dolls is a grim fable. It's Thomas Hardy dark. It's Balzac's bleak. It's Dostoevsky grayish. Nothing ends well. Success corrupts and fame destroys. Everyone is a mess. It is, in other words, that perfect mirror for today's culture. And Simon Doonan Slate. And then Nora Ephron says, the kind of book most of its readers could not put down. I, for one, could not. For me, reading The Valley of the Dolls was like reading a very, very long, absolutely delicious gossip column. Magnetic. So at least those blurbs tell you a little bit. Like they're like a little, they're not generic. They, say that this is talk about how to highlight something that is still relevant today, and it's like a book you can't put down. It's magnetic. It's like reading a gossip column, and so yeah, I like those blurbs. They really, they're good. They definitely highlight, they're not generic. So that is The Valley of the Dolls. Okay, so the last book is a nonfiction, Descent from Glory, 4 Generations of the John Adams Family by Paul C. Nagel. So I just read the biography in October, the biography of John Adams by the David McCullough one. And I definitely want to read more about this family. And all I know is that what I learned in that book, and of course, like, I knew that his son of later on became president. I don't know which president number he was. But I don't know anything about any more than that, any more than what is in the David McCullough book. I did put on my wish list the other biography because that was like, I watched Kate Howe's episode where she talked about her right now she's kind of interested in learning American history. She's been homeschooling her son and has been they've been very focused on the Civil War, and they're currently doing a project that's a diorama of one of the battles, I think. But she also talked about some of the history books about the American Revolution, and I want to say she might have mentioned this one. But she had brought up how she didn't love the David McCullough. It wasn't for her, which it's a little sad, but that's okay. To each their own. And she also introduced me to another biography about John Adams. John Adams: A Life. I don't remember who the author is. Which, by the way, I noticed that a lot of biographies of historical figures have that title. The person's name and then a life. Like the most recent one about Abigail Adams is also Abigail Adams: A Life. So like it's a very it's a very common title, I guess, to use. Like, it's easy because that's what you're writing. A biography, that's what a biography is. A person writing about someone's life. So I guess it's easy to do. But anyway, so this would be really interesting to read. Now, I'm still going back and forth and trying to debate between, do I want to continue reading about the John Adams' family, or, like I said, I've been very tempted to pick up this book, the biography that I have on Jefferson, because I think John Adams and Jefferson's relationship was really interesting, and, like, they were basically frenemies, and I want to know how his presidency went. Like, I know, the only thing I remember about him is that, about his presidency is he was the third president, obviously, but also the Louisiana Purchase. But that's about it. So I want to read more about him as well. So do I want to read the Abigail Adams biography next, or do I go to the Jefferson biography? But I will decide soon, hopefully. So, either way, I kind of probably want to start one by Christmas. I probably want to start one of them by Christmas because those biographies are kind of chunky books. And there will be times when I'll decide to put it down because I'm not in the mood to read it. But, I mean, I do feel like if I start reading more, like if I read the Abigail Adams biography, I might want to continue reading more about the Adams family instead of reading anything else as far as biographies, reading about anyone else. So I'm wondering if I should go to the Jefferson biography before I get back into anything more about the Adams family. Which, by the way, every time I say that, I keep thinking about the Adams family, not this family, not the America's First family, but the other Adamses, the kooky, spooky family. But anyway, so that is my book haul, and that is my reading update. I would love to know how your reading is going right now. Are you reading anything interesting? Have you purchased anything lately from the bookstore? What about any, library books that you recently borrowed that you would like to share? I would love to know about those. And I hope you are having, I hope your November is going well. If you are American, celebrate Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I don't know if I probably won't get an update. I probably won't get a video up before Thanksgiving. I mean, I might be able to do a video or two, but we will see, because actually this is my second time filming this video, and I don't know why, but the file wouldn't upload for some reason, so that's why I'm redoing this video. And I don't know if redoing this video is a waste of time or not, so it won't matter if it is, it won't matter what I'm saying on this video. But anyway, if it does upload, then that is why. And I might, if it is this video, basically, I don't know if I'm gonna make another, if this is the case. I mean, if this is a waste of time, then I don't know if I'm gonna film another video until I figure out why. But anyway, so if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell notification button below if you want to be notified about when I upload my videos. I hope you are enjoying your reading, and I will talk to you all later. Alright, bye!